Yo, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video, and for today's video, unlike the last couple we did for the top guys in AJ, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, and Darren Peterson, instead of just doing a career sim like we've been doing, we're going to try a rebuild this time, built around Darius Acuff and how we can get a team to mash around him and try to win an NBA championship. Acuff is a guy I absolutely love to watch in college, probably like most of you, and have a lot of expectations for him to be something really fun and special to watch in the league. But the one thing I can say is you have to build a team around him a little bit specifically, because Acuff does lack a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. He can get steals and gamble in the same way Tyrese Maxey can, but he can also get beat pretty well when someone's driving in on him down low. And on top of that, he also lacks a little bit of size. So I definitely want to prioritize getting some 3 and D type players around side him, and kind of how I feel about some of the players that are currently on this Kings roster. I absolutely love Sabonis as a player and think he's actually super underrated around the league, but I'm not sure about his pairing alongside Darius Acuff because I think that he needs someone that can hit the pick and roll a little bit better. Sabonis is an amazing passer and a very skilled big man, but I'm not sure he's going to be the right guy. And on top of that, when we look at Zach LaVine, his timeline's just not going to fit with ours. Obviously, his contract is brutal, but I'm probably not going to be looking to sign him back unless it's for a good deal. But I do like some of the young talent here we have in Nick Clifford and guys like Maxine Renown. They are certainly some pieces I could see staying with us for the long term. So let's hop into year 1 and see how this team performs. We haven't made too many adjustments, so it's going to be a real rebuild in that way, where we're really just kind of taking over starting in the offseason. So as you can see here, we have the All-NBA awards, and you see Russ gets 6th Man of the Year with Miami. I guess Giannis ends up recruiting him over there with a pretty solid year. Wemby gets MVP, no real surprise there. Check out the All-NBA teams here. I would definitely think to see a rookie team selection for Acuff, and he makes the All-NBA first team alongside some of the bigger prospects from this class. Did it translate to wins? We ended up as a 23-win team, so not the worst, but definitely not great. The Jazz and Clippers both finished lower than us out west, and this Clippers team is definitely a little yucky. The Jazz probably will continue to be on the up and up here. And on the eastern side, you can see we also finished better than the Nets and the Bucks. So about 5th worst team in the league here in year 1. And to check out these stats and how we stacked up against the other rookies, you can see as far as points per game wise, we are 4th behind Boozer, Peterson, and Keaton Wagler, but there was definitely some bright spots for us as well here. You look at the assist numbers, and we are 3rd in all the rookies, and when it came to steals, we are actually number 2 behind only Cam Boozer with averaging 1.2 steals a game, which is pretty impressive. So let's finish out this playoffs here and hop into the offseason so we can really start getting our hands into this team and making it to what we want. You can see the finals here ends up being the Celtics versus the Spurs. Surprised to see the Celtics make that run, but the Spurs take it in 7. Here we are in the offseason finally, so first matter of business, let's hop into this draft lottery. We are sitting here with the 5th number odds here. We can jump up, though, with this new system, and thankfully we do. We end up landing the number 2 overall pick. That is going to be huge to grab another young guy to pair with Acuff here to help build this team up. So let's hop into the draft and see who's going to go in 1 and what our pick of the litter here is going to be. So the Jazz have the number 1 overall pick, and they grab Jordan Smith Jr., also out of Arkansas. So number 2 overall pick here. Obviously, the guy, when you look at this draft class, the one that has potentially the most talent is Tyron Stokes. But I just can't justify bringing in a guy who is a subpar 3-point shooter with our lineup. It would really hinder us a lot here. So I'm looking at a guy more like Bruce Branch or Stefan. Because to pair alongside Acuff, we really need someone that can help stretch the floor for us and create easy buckets via the drive and kick that Darius Acuff loves to do that we've all seen. And after some back and forth here, I think with the number 2 overall pick, we're just going to go ahead and take Stefan. I like that, getting another guard to shore up alongside Acuff, and a guard that brings a lot of different things to the table rather than Acuff. And as you can see, we have him scouted up, so he's going to be sitting at a 76 overall, but I do like what he potentially brings to the table for us here. So welcome to the squad. You can see kind of how everything ended up panning out there. I don't think we reached too bad. Obviously, Stokes was a 78 overall, But I'm pretty happy with grabbing the 77 overall in Stefan. I think that he's going to really add to the progression of Acuff here moving forward. So now we're going to hop into free agency and see what we got going on here. As far as the options here, I'll take our team option on Maxine Renown and as well on Nick Clifford. We didn't really have an opportunity to decline the one from Malik Monk because he wanted to take that player option, but I don't really love his salary. Obviously, he can provide a spark scoring, but his defensive side of the ball and being 6'3" at the 2 alongside Acuff is not ideal. You can see what the squad is looking like here as we head into our first free agency. We definitely have some holes to fill here. We want to look for a solid backup point guard behind Acuff. We also want to, again, like I was saying, look into potentially getting some guys who can shoot the rock a little bit better. Nick Clifford, I'm going to move back to the 3. He was just getting crowded in that shooting guard with Malik Monk and our new draft pick. So give him some more opportunity to play, moving him back to the small forward position. And hopefully Keegan Murray as well. I haven't talked too much about him here, but hopefully he can get back to form of earlier career and be a knockdown guy for us as we are providing more spacing for this team. And as you can see here, free agency is not looking the greatest for us so far. Sor Thompson's kind of the biggest name that we have some good money to potentially go out and sign, but I just don't think he's going to fit with our team. We love what he'd bring defensively, but he cannot help stretch the floor for us at all, so I'm not going to take the gamble on that. Checking out the point guards here, there's not a ton that I love. The only one that's really piquing my interest that I have some interest in here, which is probably going to be the one that I end up rolling with, is honestly Davion Mitchell. Obviously, he can bring a lot to you defensively, and he can also shoot the rock a little bit. I don't want to commit to him for too long, though, so we'll give him a one-year deal for $8.4 million, and he'll accept that. We're going to let Levine walk, obviously, and we're also going to let DeAndre Hunter walk. I think that we can eventually get a lot better than either of those players on this team. So as you can see now, this is what our squad is starting to look like here. Still could go out and get another piece in free agency here for sure. And you can see not too bad. We're going to improve over time. I don't expect anything insane to happen this year, but year over year, just trying to get better and move this team towards a championship is the goal. We have some money here that we can use. I don't want to go out and just blow it on anyone, though. We're not bringing back Zach LaVine, even though that would probably be the best quote-unquote player here, but Zach LaVine is just not going to fit with our timeline. And I could probably give a one-year deal to Cam Johnson here just to add some shooting to the team and a taller wing that can play some 3 and D. And he accepts a deal similar to Davion, just a one-year, $8 million deal. If things end up going positively, maybe we'll think about bringing either of them back next offseason. I just don't want to commit to anybody for too long on this team. And I still want to give some opportunities to our younger guys like Nick Clifford and Maxine Renown, and even Keegan Murray, all to continue proving themselves and getting better and better. As you can see, a lot of our guys actually progressed here. Renown sitting at an 84 overall now at 24 years old, which is super promising, getting close to overlapping Sabonis in overall. Darius Acuff jumps 5 overalls to an 84, and even Keegan Murray jumps up to an 82 and gets his three-point shooting a little bit improved, which you love to see. Nick Clifford sitting at an 80 overall now, and Cam Johnson at 31 improves to an 80 overall. So you can see what the squad is looking like here in year 2. We're not moving any mountains with this team, but we were able to pivot away from some of those really huge contracts that Zach LaVine and DeAndre Hunter had when they didn't really bring the production to justify those, in all honesty. Let's make sure our rookie is getting some playing time here, sitting at a 77 overall, and let's see how this team ends up faring here in year 2. So at the end of year 2, Wemby ends up getting MVP, and surprisingly enough, Sergio De La Reyna ends up getting Rookie of the Year. He must have had to sit out last year for the Mavs. Not an impressive stat line there, but to be fair, our second overall pick didn't play that much also, who you could see ended up making the All-NBA second team, so he still did get some type of acknowledgement there. So let's check out how our team actually ended up faring in year 2. Last year, I think we had 23 wins, and this year we have 21 and 61, but that is okay. Sometimes you have to take a small step back to ultimately take a big step forward. Checking out the player stats here, Sabonis led the team, but Acuff was up to 16 points per game, which is an improvement year over year for him, and he even improved his efficiency. It's starting to get a little bit better. He had a very inefficient first year in the league, but he is improving, and he even has more assists per game. All things you would like to see for your 21-year-old point guard. No doubt about it. Maxine Renown up to 14 and 7 a game. Love to see that as well. Sitting at an 84 overall. Looking like he could be the successor to Domantas Sabonis on a way smaller contract. And our rookie, he struggled a little bit in his first year, but that is okay. We weren't expecting him to do anything too crazy. Nick Clifford really hasn't figured it out scoring-wise yet, but that is okay as well because he is still young. So let's hop through this playoffs and see how it ends up going here. In the finals, you end up getting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder taking it all over Cade Cunningham, sending us to the offseason. Now, this is the big offseason. I think this is the one where our team will start to improve a lot. We started building on some things last year. It was a very weird gap year because we had to get rid of some guys, but this might be our season here. So let's check out the draft lottery and see what our odds are looking like. We ended up with the number 2 odds, but unfortunately the opposite of last year, we fell to pick 5. But hey, no one is complaining about getting a top 5 pick when last year you just had the number 2 overall pick and it helps build on that plus Acuff and our other young pieces. So we'll have to see who is actually sitting here still available at pick 5. Marcus Spears would have been a great guy to get. CJ Rosser would have been a great guy to get. Let's see who's still here at pick 5. And, I mean, Nathan Solomon would be a guy that I think fit would probably work here just to add another piece. But, I mean, I'm having a hard time not thinking maybe we just go best player available and go with Adon Diggs. I've seen him cook so many times in these sims, and he's such a fun prospect to watch. I don't know if you'd be able to pull off a backcourt of them both starting at the same time. But at the very least, sometimes you just have to go best player available, and we're going best player available here. You can see he's coming in at a 77 overall. Solomon actually came in at a 78, but a year older. However, I'm very happy with grabbing Diggs. I think that he's going to be absolutely fundamental to our team moving forward. We'll take the team option on Nick Clifford here yet again. Why not? Obviously, we're hoping to see some better things out of him as far as his development going forward. We'll give a qualifying offer out to Maxine Renown, but we'll definitely be looking to potentially bring him back. We're going to let go of Sabonis with the improvements we've seen from Maxine. I just can't justify giving him that much money, and we're not bringing back Malik Monk. I mean, these guys were making $58 million a year and $30 million a year last year. We have an opportunity to match this offer, 3 years, $47 million on Maxine, and I still think that that's even a pretty solid deal. We were just paying Sabonis about $40 million a year, so to pay Maxine $15 million a year, and at this point he's the same overall, I definitely can't complain about that. You can see what the team is looking like heading into free agency here. Obviously, we did match the offer sheet on Maxine right now, but there's a lot of pieces for us to go out and get here. And when I'm looking at it instantly, I think another good center would be a good pairing. Just someone who's a really good roller and can really just dunk is something that I think would be very strong for this team to have coming off an Acuff pick and roll. No doubt about that. So I'll definitely entertain the idea of a guy like Zach Edey. I mean, he's not asking for a ton of money, $13 million a year, and we just had a pretty cheap contract that we ended up giving out to Maxine, and that is, to put it into perspective, we got Edey and Maxine right now for less than the yearly contract of Sabonis. So if we could get both of those guys, they're definitely together going to give us more production than one older Sabonis at this point. I thought about Paul George, but you just know his regression is going to kill you. His 3-and-D would have been very fun to add. But the next guy that jumped off the page to me is Jonathan Kuminga. He might not be the shooter that we necessarily are looking for, but his defense can be absolutely clutch, and he can knock down the 3 when needed. So we're going to actually give him one of our bigger contracts that we're giving out here, and add him to the squad as well. He'll be an absolute spark plug to add. Now that I'm looking around and just kind of seeing who's left out there that we could potentially use, the next guy that jumps off the page is Benedict Mathurin. And with the big contracts that we let go, we can give a guy like him $20 million a year as well, and it's still all going to fit into this team. So we're going to go ahead and offer him that as well. And you can see what the squad is looking like here. Acuff and Diggs, great. Benedict Mathurin and the former 2nd overall pick, Kuminga, and we need to find him a bench backup at small forward. And again, you know what? I'll go back to the well and just take Cam Johnson again. Him coming off the bench as your backup small forward is actually really strong. So to check out how the guys ended up progressing here, because I think this is going to be a big offseason. Acuff's up to an 87 overall, adding Kuminga up to an 86, Keegan Murray up to an 85 overall, 84 overall from both of our centers, Nick Clifford up to an 82. We have a ton of talent, and this team is deep. We're going to have to run like a 10-man lineup every night. but that's the good thing. We've seen with teams like the Thunder that translates. Being able to have those guys off the bench that could be starters on other NBA teams is literally one of the biggest upper hands that they have, because when bench units go against them, they cook them. So to look at this team, they have Kuminga, Maxine Raynaud, Benedict Mathurin, and Cam Johnson all coming off the bench. And for the time being, Dylan Cardwell, we'll see, because I would probably rather let Adon Diggs get some minutes because he's such a highly touted prospect. But you can see what the team is looking like here going into year 3. I expect big things from them and a big leap here. There's no doubt about that. So let's hop into year 3 and see how it goes. So about the halfway point in this season, you can see we're gearing up to the trade deadline, 28 and 23, and we checked out the efficiency, and it looks like Dylan Cardwell is actually really not performing well for us. He's a 79 overall, so we might be able to get something out of trading him away. He is only 27 years old, so I would do that and free up some space for a guy like Adon Diggs to get playing time. We'll take that. We end up getting a first-round pick, send them a second-round pick. Why not? And would you look at that, Kuminga ends up winning 6th Man of the Year for us, coming off the bench, and Stefan, our former 2nd overall pick, gets Most Improved Player of the Year. We don't have anybody make all the All-NBA teams outside of that, but it is great to see some of our guys getting shown love, and I feel like our team must have had a pretty solid year. And we end up going 41 and 41. That is a huge improvement from last year where we had 21 wins. We just went up 20 wins in one season adding these guys. Darius Acuff, again, his efficiency went up a little bit more, which you'd love to see. And Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench in that 6-man role actually ends up being our 2nd best scorer on the team. Keegan Murray shooting the ball pretty well, which you love to see after some of the struggles he's had in real life. Stefan, 4th highest overall scorer, and then Benedict Mathurin. This team is looking very good from head to toe. And let's check out our play-in matchup here. Up against the Rockets. Can we get it done? We're about to find out. We lose that game, so we still have an opportunity here to either take the 8th seed or get knocked out. And we're just going to go ahead and simulate that. And we end up knocking out the Nuggets there. You love to see it. 33 points from Jamal Murray was not enough, as we are going to have a tough first-round matchup here up against the former champs in OKC. And to my surprise, we're actually making this a series. It is 3-2, so we're going to hop into Simcast here to potentially get put away. Anytime that it's a closeout game, I do like to do this. So we hop into Simcast here, and back and forth early on, but we held on to it through the second half of that game, and we end up taking this to 7 here. Kuminga leads our squad with 22 points in that game. So it moves us to a big game 7 here, where we have potential to upset the world in an 8-1 matchup. The 8th seed could overtake the OKC Thunder, the 1 seed, the former champs, right here. We're going to see what happens. As we hop into Simcast here, it is anyone's game early on, very much back and forth. Here we go. And heading into the 4th quarter, it is neck and neck. And we start taking a little bit of a lead. We are taking off on them here. Can we hold on to it? And yes, sir, we can. The Sacramento Kings knock off SGA and the Thunder there. Huge, huge, huge. And no one even scored more than 20 points in that game from our squad. That just goes to show just how deep of a team we really, truly are. Acuff, 18, 7, and 11 there, balling out. Moving us into the second round here, up against LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Can we have the luck we had in the prior series where we take out a big dog and we get swept 4-0 this time, despite 22, 6, and 6 from Darius Acuff? Ends up being the Celtics winning it all. Heading into the most prolific offseason yet, as we are coming off a year where we just made some noise and knocked off the number 1 seed. Obviously, we're not going to have any great parts in the draft here, but we were a playing team, so guys fall sometimes like Tyrese Maxey did a couple years ago. I know I love talking about him, but of course as a Sixers fan you gotta. We have pick 17 here. We're just going to take the highest ranked guy off the board, grab another center in Eric Dampier coming from Marquette here. And let's check out how he ended up being overall wise. And honestly, kind of a steal from where we got him at. 77 overall coming into the league. Maybe could even potentially get some play early on. You can see what the team is looking like heading into free agency here. 87 overall, Darius Acuff. I mean, we're just stacked. We have a really, really deep team of guys here. And I don't know if there's anything that we necessarily super need out in free agency right now. We'll dip our toes in the water and see if there's anything we like. But this team from head to toe looks really good. Okay. So Devin Vassell, I mean, that Devin Vassell could be a really good piece for us. I'm not going to lie. We're going to let Nick Clifford walk if we end up taking Devin Vassell, because it's either Devin Vassell or Nick Clifford. I like Nick Clifford, and he's a Sacramento guy and all, but I think that Devin Vassell has already been in this role and could really succeed in just that catch-and-shoot role player that plays good defense. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take Devin Vassell. It really helps our shooting, and I think that it is going to help this team play on the floor a lot as well. You know, we're not signing anybody to massive contracts because we are building around Acuff. But man, oh man, I feel like we have a real squad here now. Like, look at this team from top to bottom. There's absolute dogs. We've addressed so many of the issues that we needed with this team. So let's see how progression goes. Up to an 89 overall here for a 22-year-old Acuff. We are building around him perfectly. Kuminga up to an 87, our former second overall pick up to an 86, and Adon Diggs jumps up to an 83 overall. So our young guys are doing exactly what you would hope heading into year 4 here. This team could be a real problem. So let's see how it ends up playing out and hop into the end of the year here. So at the end of the year here, Wemby gets another MVP, and Jonathan Kuminga bought into his 6-man role and gets another 6-man of the year. Obviously, someone's got to do it. It's still a beautiful award to win. He might not be the guy he wanted to be coming into the league and all that, but he's still playing a huge role in this team, and he helped elevate us to a 55-27 record. Completely turning this team around, and I'm getting ready to say light the beam again here. We moved on from those horrible contracts we had, and now we have brought in a lot of guys to fill out those roles and not just giving out mega contracts, and it's worked out really well for us. Acuff up to an 89 overall here, and his efficiency again has increased. He might not be scoring at an insane clip, but he is facilitating the ball, he's getting steals, and he's becoming a more and more efficient scorer, which you would like to see with age and as a guy matures throughout the league. Devin Vassell fit into our team really well here, still shooting the ball really well, but apparently Kuminga really led the team for the most part, coming in and helping solidify our second unit. So, let's see who we're matched up against here. We're going to simulate the play-in, and we end up drawing the Clippers, who were just bad a couple years ago as well, who added John Morant and Paul George. Paul George goes back to the Clippers, but was not enough, PG. You're going to have to hang it up. Out in 5. We end up getting a second-round matchup up against the guys that knocked us out last year, Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. They go up a game, but we are going to fight here. We grab the second. We lose. We tie it up at 2 apiece here. This is big time. These next couple games really matter. We find ourselves down in this series 3-2 on the potential closeout here. So we're going to hop into Simcast and see just how this one ends up playing out. And as you can see, we're holding on to it. We got to have a good fourth quarter here. It is very much back and forth as we're getting ready to hop into this one. And as we hop in here, you can see that Zach Edey inbounds it. We are down by 1 point here with about 2 minutes to go. Stefan kicks it over to Darius Acuff. Darius Acuff puts the burners on, and that's what you want to see from him. Aggressively getting to the rim with speed, giving us a 1-point lead. The T-Wolves have the ball here, 1 minute and 30 to go. Jaden McDaniels cannot get it to go. We get the big rebound. Devin Vassell. This is a big possession. We could really use a bucket here, fellas. 1 minute and 12 to go. Vassell goes down low, gets blocked, grabs his own board, kicks it over to Stefan. Back up to Vassell, all over this possession, but he bricks that one as well. Cannot get it to go. 56 seconds here. Kicks it down low to McDaniels. McDaniels trying to figure something out here. Kicks it back to LaMelo Ball. This is potential series on the line. LaMelo cannot get it to go. 43 seconds to go here. Vassell with the ball at the top of the key. Kicks it over to Acuff. Let's see what he could do here. Can he take off again? He goes to kick it out, and it results in a turnover. They have a fast break opportunity here with McDaniels getting fouled. We need him to miss one of these. He drains the first one. We need a big-time miss here. 28.3 on the clock. We do not want the pressure on us. Down 1 here. We'll see what happens. Can McDaniels hit this, or will he look out and brick this free throw? We're about to find out. Jaden McDaniels. And, although it bounced off the rim, it still goes. We are in a bad spot here. We need a bucket. 28.3 on the clock. About a 4 to 5 second difference between the shot and game clock. Darius Acuff gets the screen, goes to kick it down low to Edie. He cannot. Thankfully, he is the fastest player on the court and gets there down to Vassell. Edie, 5 seconds left. Get the ball out of Zach Edie's hands. Keegan Murray, contested three, and he drains it. Big time. We did not let him leave this city, and he has improved year over year. Big time shot, giving us a 2-point lead here, 107 to 105 to potentially keep us alive. LaMelo Ball, oh, he put the moves on Acuff, but he does not get it to go. Your Kings take this game 107 to 105 to stay alive in this series. Con Knipple drops 20 there, Acuff 27 and 5, but most importantly, 6 steals in that game. Moves us into a big-time Game 7 against the team that eliminated us last year. We're hopping into Simcast to see if we can get it done here. Can the Kings push it up a notch here and make it to the Western Conference Finals? It's looking like we have a real shot here. We need to stay sturdy here in the fourth quarter. It's coming down to it, though. As you can see, we might have to hop into it. 118 to 112. Can we keep just enough room here? 120 to 116, and we end up taking it 125 to 118. And Don Diggs stepping up as the young man there, former number 5 overall pick, drops 20. Putting us to the Western Conference Finals here, up against Victor Wembanyama, the perennial MVP, and the San Antonio Spurs. We get up on them the first game here. It'll be an interesting matchup with Edie and Maxine Reynaud, both going at Victor Wembanyama, and obviously we have their former player in Devin Vassell. We end up going up 2-0 in this. You love to see it as they grab a game there with a big-time performance from Wemby. No surprise. Tying this series up at 2 apiece here. Not what you love to see. Kuminga drops 20 there, but 34 and 8 from Victor Wembanyama. Thankfully, we grab a big-time game there to give us a little bit of leverage, up 3-2 in the series here. Of course, we're going to hop into Simcast and see for the final game. And the Spurs are up early. We need to show a sign of life, but it never comes. We get smoked by 50 there, 120 to 70. You hate to see it. But we are never going to get out of this series without some bumps and bruises. We are going up against the San Antonio Spurs, guys. Come on. We are going to Game 7 here. This is big time. This is the biggest moment in Darius Acuff's young career here. Big time Game 7 to potentially advance to the NBA Finals. What are we made of? We have a good first half there, but we fall behind in the third. Thankfully, in the fourth quarter, we step up and we end up taking this one 124 to 104 with Darius Acuff getting a Western Conference Finals MVP there. And that's absolutely big time. I wanted to check out what other players had great stats. But again, with how many minutes we just spread around, no one did anything too crazy. The highest score for us was 17.3 throughout the series. But Darius Acuff leads this team to an NBA championship against Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. I think this team's an easier matchup than what we just saw in the Western Conference Finals, which was Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. As you can see, we are all tied up at 1 apiece here. This is going to be a back-and-forth series. However, we end up dropping a game there. We do not want to see that. Cade goes nuts for 35, but we are down 2-1. We need this game. We end up grabbing it. Darius Acuff steps up there. 19 points, 5 assists, and again, 6 steals. This man is an absolute pickpocketer out here, tying this series up at 2 apiece. We grab the next game, going up 3-2. Benedict Mathurin leading the wave there. And this is an opportunity for us to close it out here. Can we solidify ourselves and finish this rebuild as the Sacramento Kings? And it is looking good. We win every quarter there to end up taking it 120 to 96 in a dominant fashion. So as you can see, it only took about 4 years there to get this Kings team all turned around and build around Darius Acuff, him getting Western Conference Finals MVP and the Finals MVP. He is him. If you guys want to see any types of videos, specifically down low in the comment section below, let me know. If you made it all the way through, let me know, because I always love to see that. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.